Live Lessons with Joe here. Welcome back to my channel. This particular video is going to be dedicated overall to the youth that have had their self-esteem destroyed and are still living under their parents' roof, which were the people that, or their caretaker, whoever it is that you're living with, and that were the culprit of the destruction of your self-esteem. One of my subscribers, Soothing Sleep Ecstasy, wrote to me that they're experiencing this situation, so I just want to help you out. Please know I'm not an expert. I'm still nowhere where I want to be due to the fact that I have gone through certain situations that put me back to kind of sort of square one, but not necessarily square one, because my mentality is different, so therefore I am looking into different solutions. Anywho, one of the things that helped me, and I hope this helps you since you're a lot younger than I am, and I'm giving you the advice that I wish I had been giving at that time, because by the time you're my age, you're going to be definitely ahead of the curve. One of the things that you have to do when you're living with people that have destroyed your self-esteem is to find out who you are. I know it sounds extremely cliche, but when I say to find out who you are, I mean, like, what's your favorite color? Why do you like that color? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite book? What's your favorite music? Who's your best friend? Or whatever the case might be. Have you had any healthy friendships? Do you have any family member, at least one person that you can go to? And if you don't, then write about how that made you feel. I have done shadow work. I started doing shadow work since the year 2017. When I was when I was 8 years old is when I started to experience depression, because that's when my life took a turn for the worse. And I remember, like, I have gone to a psychiatrist. They sent me there, and like the person was just trying to give me pills, which, listen, I'm not judging anybody, but I strongly believe that you cannot fix emotional problems with a pill. You have to get to the root of the problem. So again, find out who you are, find out what were your life goals, what are the things that you wanted to do when you were, like, I don't know, 5 years old, 6 years old. Like, for example, for me, I wanted to be like dancing. I wanted to be an actress. At one point, I also wanted to be a chef. I also wanted to be a news reporter, right? And then eventually, when I was about 17, I went to college and I wanted to be a therapist. I did go to school for psychology, but I dropped out. Find out if you want to have a career that requires college education, right? And one thing I'll suggest, because I struggle with this now at the present moment, I'm a lot older than you, find out and read about financial literacy, right? Because since you want to work on moving out of this person's home, and if you have the ability since you're 18 years old to get a job or whatever the case might be, I don't know what your situation is fully, but you can start with that, right? Around that age, I used to suffer with a lot of social anxiety. So it was very difficult for me, but through college, I kind of learned how to like maneuver, like do presentation, because I used to be like a nervous freak, and like, especially when I was put in the spot in social situations, I was like, oh my God, panic, I'm gonna make a mistake. Okay, so do that. I would say also go outside in nature. Go outside if you can. Go outside in nature. Go out for a bike ride if you can rent, I don't know, a bicycle. If not, just go out for walks. Obviously, be mindful of your surroundings as you go out for these walks. Try to see if you can go out without having your headphones on. And yeah, just really, really find out who you are, because I started to gain back my self-esteem once I stopped letting other people tell me who I was, because a lot of these abusers, they like to project. So who they are, they say that you are. They love doing smear campaigns and things of that nature. And I realized that I used like my anger as a fuel to motivate me to do things. I also advise to set boundaries. Learn to set boundaries, because you're at the age when you are going to start going out into the world, and you're going to realize that because of how you were raised, you were not given the proper tools to navigate how to be around other people. And guess what? You're going to be surrounded by other narcissists, takers, and abusers and leashes. So people are going to try to suck your energy. They're going to try to make you do stuff. They're going to try to use you as a way to get around. So especially, I don't know what sex you are. If you're a female, you have to be careful with the opposite sex. And if you're a guy, you also have to be careful with the opposite sex, because of your upbringing, you will attract these people because you don't know any better. There's going to be a pull. So I advise you to learn to love yourself. And by loving yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, completely naked, and like learning to accept your flaws Even if you don't accept your flaws, learn to accept the fact that right now at the moment you have difficulty accepting your flaws. Because the reason why your self-esteem has been broken down is because you were basically giving messages that there was something wrong with you. So therefore it results in you not being capable of accepting who you are with your flaws. So basically, even we'll have flaws, but what happens is that those flaws, they become so big that you really start to believe the lies that these people projected onto you, like you're dumb, you're stupid, you will never be good enough, you're never amount to anything. Those were some of the things that were said to me growing up. One of the biggest one that still affects me today was told that I would never amount to shit, because I feel like I be doing things that put me back into that position of like I'll never get it out of the mud without my parents. So that's one thing that you have to really be careful with. And again, you're 18 years old, which is beautiful. You have so many years ahead of you. And if you can work on those things right now, at this present moment, I advise you to get a journal, get a pen, and make sure that you can put this in a place that no one is going to touch this, or get a diary that you can lock and that you yourself can keep the key near you so that no one will violate your boundaries. Because growing up, I had my mom violating my boundaries and reading my stuff. So do shadow work. You can Google and even go to YouTube and look up certain journaling prompts that could potentially help you to like dig deep into like why you do the things that you do. I also would recommend the YouTuber Lisa A. Romano. I did her 12-week breakthrough program, which kind of helped me understand certain things. Right now, might not be able to afford her program. However, she does have free videos that you could look for. I also recommend if you could look up John A. Brasho. I will write down his names in the comment of this video. I'll pin it down. Basically, he has certain books that I owned, but he also has a YouTube series. He passed away, I believe, in the year 2016, but some of the information that he talks about is still around. And again, you will benefit from this so much because you're still very young. And the faster you start fixing some of the things that you need to heal, like codependency, wanting to fix other people, putting other people's needs before your own, and make sure not to put yourself in the caretaker position. It's one thing if you, let's say, want to be a nurse and you're good at that, but it's another thing when you feel like other people are above you and you start to idolize them or make them a priority instead of taking care of yourself. Practice a lot of self-care, like, I don't know, do bubble baths, Epsom salt bath. If you could do juicing, if you could do smoothies, if you can start changing how you eat. Again, I don't know your full-blown situation here, but I have had issues, for example, in my case, eating habits and money. Like when I was younger, I used to be left alone a lot, so I would be giving like a little bit of allowance, and so I would use that to buy pizza, buy a lot of unhealthy food as a way to compensate for my feelings of unworthiness and feeling alone. So I replaced my emotional vacancy with like food to fill in the void for me, right? So also I advise you to listen to like motivational speeches. You can just look up Eric Thomas. There's other pages here on YouTube that you could look up to that are called motivational speeches or whatever the case might be. You could also follow these people's social media pages. And like exercising can boost up your self-esteem. And what I noticed, what even helped me to boost up my self-esteem a little more, was the fact that I started putting myself in situations that I was fearful to do, like in jobs or when I had to like do public speeches, like in college, when I had to like be in jobs that were like extremely unhealthy and I had to put myself out there. That's when I realized that I had the ability that I could speak well. Like something about my voice. I love the sound of my voice now. I used to hate it. And I used to feel insecure about that. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I realized, oh my God, this is a gift that I have, right? And so once you start doing things, and it kind of like, there's a word for this. Basically, you start to doing things, and as you start to accomplish certain goals and certain things, you develop skills. And so that also assists in raising your self-esteem, right? Because it proves that you're a competent individual, right? So just know this also, that you cannot fully heal in the same place where you got sick. So you might have to end up leaving your family home and the city or the environment that you're surrounded by or whatever. I'm not saying that you had to automatically do that right away. You could just move out of your parents' home whenever you're ready and go in a town nearby. I don't know. But look up this point, you cannot heal in the same place where you got sick, or you cannot heal in the same place that broke you. It's impossible, right? Now you can make some changes, you can make some improvements, right? But in my situation, because I lost my job, I had to move back in, right? And now my parents are not treating me the same way they were treating me years ago, right? I had to call them out, I had to call out my mother on certain things. And like, she has her moments where she starts a little bit, but because she's so busy going to church or whatever and doing other things, she don't really be having time to be around. And like being with the church, I guess that has put more her attention into like church rather than me. But I sometimes get a little bit depressed being here because this is the same home that I used to be suicidal at, right? And so like I'm starting to feel the same negative feelings that I felt when I was a teenager, when I was here growing up. So again, since you're so young, which is so beautiful, you have your whole life ahead of you. I'm begging you to start working on these things little by little. Do not get overwhelmed. Trying to set goals. What is it, the life that you dream of? If you want to get married, if you don't want to get married, if you want to have kids, the type of home that you want to have, the type of experiences, do you want to travel the world? What is your dream? What was your dream career? Start digging into those things about yourself deep and find out fully who you are and get so solid in who you are that no matter what people tell you, you realize that they have no power over you because you know who you are. And again, please learn how to set boundaries because that's going to be extremely necessary to learn how to communicate with other people, because some people, if you get into the workplace, believe you me, you're going to get around some of these people. But if you know how to set boundaries, and if you have your self-respect and your self-love intact, because the reason why you feel so empty, devoid of self-esteem is because one, you were not accepted. Number two, you feel like there's something wrong with you, right? And you were trained to just think very less of yourself. And you need to get back whatever love you were trying to give your parents or whoever. You need to give that back into you, that energy, pour that back into you, because codependents are self-love deficient, right? And if you're self-love deficient, you're going to put other people on a pedestal, which is going to send you all the way back. So I hope this helps. If you have any other questions, you can please feel free to comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to make another video of this. With that being said, I sincerely hope that helps. You're 18 years old. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I wish I would have came across some of this information that I came across now or a few years ago. I mean, I wish I would have known them when I was 18, because I would have been out so quick. But anyways, good luck with everything, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna succeed. And one last thing before I go, you're gonna have days when you feel like complete crap. I have those days. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, okay? So I'm not an expert or anything, but however, one thing that I can tell you for sure that has changed about me is my mentality, how I carry myself, and how I take care of myself, because self-care is extremely important. Knowing how to take care of your body and like use lotion, perfumes if you have to, just, you know, the appropriate clothing and things like that. Learn how to do those things, and little by little, don't overwhelm yourself. You'll be on the right track. Good luck and bye-bye.